Hi, welcome to Wee Brown Van. My name's Mike, this is my wife Trish.
Hi.
And our dog Kira is on the back seat. Now we're just about to head off for our first camper van trip of 2023.
And this trip, what we're going to do is we're going to head down to Grey Mare's Tail, which is just outside Moffat, and have an overnight stay at the Grey Mare's Tail. And then we're going to head down to Gretna and have a little wander around there, and then finally ending up down at Ullswater, which is at the Lake District. I think it's the second biggest lake in the Lake District. Never been there before, so looking forward to that.
No, it sounds really, really good. So first stop, Moffat.
Moffat, yes. You
Okay,
ready?
I'm ready.
You ready, Kira? Let's go.
We've arrived in Moffat. Trish is just putting the steering lock on and then we'll head off. I don't think there's really too much here. It's a little place. I do know that they make toffee, quite famous toffee, so I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for some of that. We head off looking for the Moffat toffee shop, and on the way we check out some of the buildings, including the church and the town hall, and we spot an 1875 statue of a ram that commemorates farming in the area. Kira's enjoying the walk, and she says hello to some passing dogs. Here we go. It didn't take us long to sniff out Moffat toffee. Guess what I've got? Moffat toffee. We've just come to the Rumbling Tum. It's a coffee shop, and it's dog friendly. Right, Kira, you're allowed in here. Let's go. We're being very bad, I have to say, very, very bad. I've got a coffee and that's all right. Nothing wrong with having a coffee. That's the other things though. We've got apple pie and ice cream. And there's also a roux, which is... it's like a meringue, isn't it? And it's got strawberries and cream and stuff in there. You know, you've got to break yourself in slowly to this camper van malarkey, haven't you? One step at a time.
What do you mean? One cake at a time?
Coachman's Bar. We're going in here? Dogs allowed? Oh.
Your fur baby is most welcome.
Right, okay. Well, you don't see me complaining, do you? No. Pint of best, if you've got it, please. It must be all of 20 minutes since we had that coffee and cake. Now it's time for a little beer.
Did you enjoy walking around Moffat?
I thought it was great. It's a great wee place.
It's nice, isn't it?
Ah, it's lovely.
A few of the shops were shut, but I think that's just because time of year.
Yeah, true. But the good thing for me was it was so dog friendly.
Yeah, so the cafe was dog friendly, and then we went into the pub.
Yeah.
And they allowed your furry friend.
It did. I loved that. And Kira met a couple of friends, didn't she? And
yeah. And the bar staff gave her some treats, which was lovely, and she did that with all the dogs, which I thought was very welcoming and very nice.
It was really, really good. But it's getting chilly and I'm getting hungry, so we're going to go?
Yeah, so we're heading off now to the Grey Mare's Tail Nature Reserve.
Yeah.
We'll have a park up there for tonight.
Sounds good. We've arrived. We're here at the Grey Mare's Tail Nature Reserve. It's cold, it's windy, we've had a little bit of rain. That's Scotland for you. And this is where we're parked up. There's the wee brown van. There's Kira getting her din-dins. And yeah, I'm feeling a bit peckish myself. We're just going to batten down the hatches now and get ourselves fed too. I'm going up the walk to the waterfall in the morning. Right, Kira, we're going up the Grey Mare's Tail today. You need to get your fleece on. It's your warm one that's got the legs.
Stop the ticks.
Yeah, stop any ticks. It's not the weather for this, but here we go. See you in a bit.
Have fun.
We head off along the gravelly path on this walk, which is to take us about an hour to get to the top. Over the bridge, the path starts the ascent and we get a first glimpse of the falls. To get the very best views, we know that we've got to go quite a bit higher. Kira prefers to walk on the grassy verges at the side of the path, and she stops to look at how far we've come. We continue up the steepest part of the path, and it's well worth it for the best views of the falls. The Grey Mare's Tail is a stunning waterfall located in the southern uplands of Scotland, near the town of Moffat, and is a popular destination for walkers. It's the 5th highest waterfall in the UK, with a height of around 200 feet. The waterfall is formed by the Tail Burn, which flows down from Loch Skene on the summit of White Coombe.
How was your walk?
It was fabulous. I really enjoyed it, and I think Kira enjoyed it too. I was looking forward to it. I've wanted to do this walk for a little while, so I have. And it was good to get that drone footage, but what I found was that the drone, once you got up the hill a little bit, the drone just couldn't cope with it at all. It was getting blown about by the wind. At one point I couldn't get the drone to go forward even, so I had to just take the drone down and do the rest filming by hand. But you know, that waterfall, there's a number of cascades when you go up. Right. It falls in tiers. You can't see them from the bottom here, but there's a number of tiers when you get further up. And so I got a few shots of these that I couldn't get with the drone, but there was one particular bit where it was quite scary for me because you had to actually hang over, you know. So basically what I did was I got the camera on the selfie stick, the long selfie stick, and just held it over.
I'm surprised you even did that for you.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm like, don't you? When I'm at heights, heights kind of freak me out a little bit.
I don't like heights at all. And was Kira okay with everything?
Aye, Kira was fine. Well, look at her.
Did you keep her on the leash?
Look at her.
Look at the colour of her.
I've exhausted her.
Her fleecy thing.
Yeah, well, this is her eco fleece, and it does kind of...
You can see all that.
Yeah, well, it's done the job, hasn't it? Look, it's done the job. Our bottoms of our paws are going to be a little bit mucky, but it's a great thing, that. It's just as well because the trail up there is really muddy at some points. It's like peat, you know. Yeah. It's very boggy and it's quite deep. So there was a few bits where we just had to trudge on through it.
Alright, okay. And did you see any of the mountain goats that they speak about around here?
I didn't, but I did see, I thought it was a sheep, but I think it was a ram. And would you believe, an orange ram?
An orange ram?
Well, it's like it had been dyed.
Yeah.
Dyed orange by the farmer or something like that. So he was looking at us thinking, what are you guys doing up here? Yeah, but the path generally, I would say, was really, really good. There was a few rocky bits where you had to be careful with Kira and you had to kind of squeeze through some rocks.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the top, there's one part where the loch at the top, Loch Skene, which is the feeder loch for the whole waterfall, you approach it and you don't really know it's coming. You just kind of, you walk towards it and you turn the corner and you just see it, and it's this wow moment, you know. It's one of these wow moments that's quite special.
Maybe one day if I ever get my knees fixed I'll get to see it.
Oh, you will. Yeah, absolutely. For us to move on from Moffat, and we're going south to the town of Gretna. We take junction 22 off the M6 and soon find the Braids campsite in Gretna, where we'll be spending the night. Well, this is where people used to come run away to get married here, didn't they?
Gretna Green, yes. This is Gretna, you get Gretna Green.
Well, is it not the same thing?
I don't know, so I think we should maybe have a wee look at that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure anyway, this is where people used to run away to get married.
And do you know why that was?
Well...
because in England, the age that you could get married at, even with your parents' consent, was...
It was more than 16 anyway.
No, it was 16 with parents' consent, that's what it was.
Was it?
But in Scotland you could get married without parents' consent at 16.
Right,
so people whose parents wouldn't allow them to marry would run away to Gretna Green.
Aye.
That's what it
Well, we didn't need to worry about that. We did the deed a long time ago, didn't we?
Yes, very long time ago.
How long? 35 years, that's how long. We've reached the famous blacksmith's shop in Gretna Green, where people have been getting married since 1753. Inside the museum, it tells us all about the history of marriage at the blacksmiths. There are lots of artefacts to have a look around, like these old shoes and tools, and a display showing the Gretna Green marriage anvil. And there's also a digital storyboard with a tale to tell.
Way back in the middle of the 18th century, there lived a talented blacksmith who spent most of his days turning iron into farm tools and horseshoes.
In here, there's an impressive area with a large curved screen where they can show presentations to larger groups. You having a glass of wine? Well, if you're having a glass of wine, I'm having a glass of wine too. Just a small one before dinner. Well, I quite enjoyed that, but at least I found out one thing, which was that Gretna and Gretna Green are different places, aren't they? Yes. In fact, it wasn't the nicest walk in the world because it was a hard walk, a mile between the two apparently, Gretna and Gretna Green. And it wasn't the nicest walk in the world, was it, along that road? No,
you had to go along the road, so it wasn't very good for us or Kira.
I quite enjoyed the experience in there. It was a bit of a little bit of a touristy trap, but the actual part that does the weddings and everything was quite impressive, wasn't it?
Very nice, yeah. And the anvil, so when the blacksmith strikes the anvil, that's them married, apparently.
Yeah, but it wasn't 16, was it?
No, so I saw the poster and it was the Marriage Act of 1753, the Clandestine Marriage Act, that stated that people had to get married in a church, so the ceremony had to be conducted by a minister. And it was also under the age of 21, you had to have your parents' permission. And anybody who was under that age and wanted to get married would hot-foot it to Gretna Green, because we Scottish will allow it.
Tomorrow we're heading down to Ullswater, aren't we?
Yes, we are heading down to Ullswater, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and we're going to park Maggie up in a hotel car park.
Yes, we are. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mike. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. That's a different kind of birthday. Original. Appreciate your ingenuity. A tea light, a digestive biscuit, and is this my cake? Is it?
Yeah.
Chewy. Right, next stop, Ullswater, down in the Lake District. You okay in the back there, Kira?
Yeah.
And we're actually going to stay in a hotel car park because Trish gave them a call, and you know, it's one of these places, if you have a meal then you get to stay overnight in the car park. I don't think it's a Brit stop or anything, is it?
No, I just phoned them up and said to them, oh, we're down this week and if we come in for a meal and it's dog friendly, can we stay in the car park overnight? And she said, yeah, that's fine.
We decide to hot-foot it down the M6 and soon we're at the entrance to the hotel. We've arrived at the hotel. We're just getting Kira out of the van and we're just going to nip into the reception to see if it's okay for us to park up, because it's not even lunchtime yet, so we'll be here probably for most of the day.
So, Mike, we're not just parking in the car park and sleeping. Gemma and Matthew, remember they got us a voucher for a hotel?
Yeah.
It was this hotel, and I just decided to book it and we'll stay here tonight.
We're staying here in the hotel?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, I'm delighted about that. Okay.
And breakfast.
Oh, that's a nice surprise. Okay. That for my birthday, is it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Have a look at the hotel then. Built more than 200 years ago, Leeming House on the banks of Ullswater is one of the area's most sought-after 4-star hotels for romantic breaks and nature-inspired getaways. Ullswater is the second largest lake in the English Lake District, being about 7 miles long and about 3/4 of a mile wide, with a maximum depth a little over 60 metres. It was scooped out by a glacier in the last ice age. We're too early to check in, so Kira gets some ball play in the 22-acre formal and woodland gardens. Then we check in and we head off to our room where Kira gets a little telling off for jumping up on the bed.
Oh, Kira, you're not allowed up here. You're not allowed up here. Come on, off you go, off you go, off you go.
Then the eating experience starts for us with a very civilised afternoon cream tea, sitting by a window looking out over the gardens and lake. And then later, we head to the dining room for evening dinner before retiring for the night. It's next morning and we've had our breakfast here at the Leeming House Hotel. I have to say we had a fantastic stay. I feel as if we've just eaten the whole time that we've been here. I had a full English breakfast this morning.
We did.
And it was terrific. I feel like I've been really spoiled actually on this trip.
I'm glad.
It was such a big surprise when we pulled up and I found out that we were staying here.
That's good. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed it as well. So if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up and help our channel grow by subscribing. We'll speak to you on the next one.
Yep, see ya, bye.
Bye.